Alright, welcome back. This video is also sparked by Kevin Turley wanting to know the story of how we got here, and this video will explain a large chunk of that. So if you for any reason do not enjoy these videos, please direct your criticisms and abuse to Kevin. I'm sure he'll be ready for that. Okay, so I'm going to go back many eons into prehistory, somewhere between 14,000 BC and 10,000 BC. There is a theory that human consciousness was drastically changed during a time of global cataclysm. This is the time referred to in the Bible as the Flood. Plato refers to this era as the fall of Atlantis. The Sumerians, Babylonians, Persians, Druids, Mayans, Vedics, etc. all spoke of and recorded these times. Either way, there was a cataclysm seen in the planetary bodies and here on Earth, a global upheaval that can be seen mostly in the north, where land masses are scattered. You'll be able to see this on Google Maps. Look at the northern continents and all the scattered islands that you see, and that Atlantis was in this region. It's clear that there was much cataclysm in this area, and land masses were just torn asunder. This was followed by the most recent ice age and a migration from the north to southern Europe and the Middle East. It is thought that this era of cataclysm also shattered the consciousness of man. Yes, this would be as above, so below. Massive traumas experienced within the material world were also experienced in the very consciousness of man, and thus the ego as we know it today was born. Now we're going to fast forward somewhere in ancient Egypt between 10,000 and 1,000 BC. Now I'm pretty loose with the dates here because it's very hard to pin down. Modern historians would have this happening somewhere around 1300 BC. I'm pretty loose with my dates, but around this time, the wisdom councils of Egypt were betrayed by a Setian cult of Atonists who never finished their full initiations, but instead decided to take what knowledge they had and use it to take over by force. In short, wisdom was betrayed by knowledge. Now the god Thoth, representing thought, thought, knowledge, but knowledge is not wisdom. A great example of someone who's allowed knowledge to betray wisdom in the modern world would be like a Bill Gates, a Yuri Harari, maybe a Klaus Schwab. There's still plenty of these people around. They still have way too much power. This reminds me of how communists take over institutions from the inside in more modern times. Yes, the long march through the institutions, which is largely completed at this point. Many say these people eventually took over during the reign of Akhenaten around 1300 BC. That's Aten, also Aton, as in tetragram Aton, and the Atonists. Akhenaten was also known later as Amenhotep. These cultists birthed so-called monotheism, a belief in the one true God, and all else was considered idolatry and heresy, punishable by death. Some, including psychologist Sigmund Freud, say that the story of Moses leaving Egypt was the story of these Atonist cultists. Their main tactics were cloak and dagger, deception, and mind control. You see the same tactics being used later in the Roman Empire. They are masters of psychology and mind control, but they lack wisdom and humility. Wise men of every age have always known that the mind creates reality. They knew that they were the stewards of human consciousness, so that it was their duty to keep the thoughts and actions of man in line with natural law. They achieved it through the culture, myths, teachings, feast days, rituals, etc. It was the Dark Setians who decided to hijack human consciousness for their own benefit. to create slaves who would do their bidding. They set out on a mission to convert or destroy all other peoples around the entire globe. And one of the major vehicles for this has been the advent of Abrahamism, where I get back to the tetragrammaton and the three main pillars of Abrahamism being Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, which have spread out all over the globe and certainly conquered or destroyed many indigenous and pagan and other cultures around the world and replaced them with Abrahamism. They would murder the wise men and desecrate their sacred sites, often building on top of them. After millennia of success in enslaving man and murdering all the remaining wise men around the world, now these people essentially believe that they can supersede God. Maybe they always did. This is still going on today, but we are entering a new era, a technological era, the age of Aquarius. This is an age of information and of the merger between the organic and the technological, man and machine. This was one of the core messages of movies such as Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey. These days, the Dark Ones mostly use technology to aid their mind control programs. Celebrities or star power are also a major element. The modern media is mass mind control. They can induce global panic, mass hysteria, and mass psychosis quite easily. They do it all the time. The modern world is so insane because the amount of mind control propaganda that the dark Magi can put through the average human consciousness has exploded thousands-fold. Not only that, there are more people on Earth, and they have access to more and more people every day. The majority of the Western world has both an internet and a television addiction. It is safe to say that the dark Magi have full control of the majority of these minds. Also, the amount of time that it takes for the mind control cycle to complete is rapidly decreased due to the viral nature of modern media. What used to take years, even decades to spread, now happens in minutes, sometimes seconds, soon to be almost instantaneous. So I think of some of the upcoming technologies such as brain chips, augmented realities, and uploading consciousness to some kind of hive mind AI. And one could only imagine how quickly mind control propaganda could spread utilizing this technology. They have also convinced most of these people to watch pornography, so not only do they have the attention of the masses, they also have channeled the sexual energy. It could be said that this is even more powerful than mind control. They not only control the mind, but also the sexuality, even the body. This will only increase in the short term. The basic situation here is that the dark Magi have gained full control of the vast majority of human consciousness and its sexuality. They use this control to print reality as their programming dictates, just like a computer prints what it is programmed to print. Now they want to take control of the body and of the soul forever. Now it is clearly your duty to avoid this, to be the steward of your own mind, body, and sexuality, and to escape their matrix. I will talk more about how the matrix works in future videos. Until then, take care everyone.